Hey guys, Cam for 15, back at with another video for you guys, back with another anime review of another anime that I watched, and that's Wild Last Boss Appeared. Now, I know I missed the last the last week's episode when it premiered. But again, my Saturdays mostly consist of sports and stuff like that, but here it is. I'm not gonna go too much in depth. I'm just gonna kind of do takeaways. Episode 3 will kind of mostly be your in-depth type of thing in terms of what I thought about the episode and where the story's going. But it is interesting. I do like it. The animation looks really good. And hey, I'm really liking it. I think we can all say my favorite character, or I think probably the funniest character, the most hilarious character, probably the favorite character of this show right now is Dina. Dina is just a bundle of energy, a bundle of joy that I'm enjoying. She is very funny. More funny in episode 2 than the first episode, but the fact that Dina was just basically a regular ass NPC and basically brought to life once the dude gets, reincarnated into the world, it's crazy. It's crazy to say this, right? So yeah, but the first episode was mostly about kind of understanding the premise of this world and what's going on. So obviously, our character ends up actually getting freaking isekai into a game he was playing. And he's playing Lufas, or he reincarnated into Lufas's body, and he was also summoned to this world in Lufas's body. So it's funny because when he gets summoned as Lufas, like legitimately, the people that summon him, they're like, "Wait, you're Lufas? Oh my god, it's a thing, right?" And he legitimately, like, I guess unintentionally, like uses like the gravitational thing where he's slamming the people like to the ground due to gravity and everything, just due to the immense pressure he's emitting. And it's absolutely hilarious because he doesn't know like what the hell's going on, and the fact that he is Lufas and stuff like that. So that was absolutely hilarious. Now we do see at the start of that episode, wow, Lufas ends up being defeated by the heroes. And once in the first episode, after Lufas gets out of there and everything, this is when our main character ends up realizing, like, okay, this is what's been happening, because that's when Dina shows up. She's like, "Oh, Lady Lufas, you're finally here. I've been so long." And we find out, like, I think like three of the original seven heroes are still alive. So basically the whole thing is, and also we do find out like the Demon Lord in the game is still alive. So from what I'm guessing, Lufas is trying to, I guess, be a good person, but she has to keep herself obviously hidden, the fact that she is Lufas. Otherwise, like, people are gonna freak out, and then the heroes, there's at least 3 of the heroes still in, and they find out, okay, Lufas is still alive. Well, then maybe they send more heroes after her. So it is kind of crazy to see, right? But that was kind of mostly your introduction, your softcore introduction. Great episode. And then they end up going to take on this quest to go take out these orcs, which happens in the second episode, which was absolutely hilarious. So in the second episode, they go to take down these orcs, right? Because these orcs kidnap these girls. And I think the funniest thing was the fact that these orcs, man, you see, it's funny. And these other fantasy, like, isekai like shows, or just, things in general, these fantasy worlds, when it comes to like orcs or goblins and everything, especially when it comes to taking women, usually it's because they want to try to mate with the women and force them to do something against their will. Obviously, you know what that means, and end up killing them, right? Seen so many enemies. Goblin Slayer is like one of them, right? And I love Goblin Slayer. When I watched this shit, and basically none of the women were harmed, none of the women were scarred, these orcs legitimately were like, well, if they, we're gonna kidnap these girls, yes, but if they want to, do that stuff with us, then, hey, if they give us approval, then we'll do it. But till then, we're gonna be respectful orcs. And I'm just like, interesting. Respectful orcs that legitimately just okay, they're actually for the women. They don't want to force themselves upon the women and try to force them to make babies and stuff with them. Okay, I can live with that. I think that's a pretty damn good job. Yeah, okay. And it's funny because regardless, they still kill them regardless, which is the funny part. So that's the thing. But and it's funny how these girls are not scarred and everything, and it ends up becoming a conversation between the two where it's like, should we erase their memories of this? And Lufas is like, and it's funny because Dina's like, I can do it, and she gives like this death glare, and Lufas is like, no, we won't do that. They seem fine. You know, we're not gonna erase their memories, right? So they end up giving them the village of basically a big golem to protect them from basically any monsters and their girls from being protected. But I just thought that was funny that, you know, orcs were actually kind in this world and they were actually considerate. Now the girls did say like, well, they had bad hygiene and they didn't really bathe too much, so no. But maybe they improve their, you know, hygiene and stuff. Maybe these women are okay with it. I don't know. I'm just saying, bro. But that was absolutely funny. And then you get more funny moments. And this is kind of the episode where Dina is just an absolute bundle of silliness. This girl gets her foot stepped on twice because obviously Lufa is getting pissed off at her because like at one point, you know, she steps on her foot because like she called her Sufal because again they're trying to keep her identity because she's wearing like this big robe with a hood and everything so people don't see who she truly is, right? And when she said, okay, let's go, thank me and Sufal later, and then she steps on her foot and she's like, why'd you do that? She's like, what the hell did you just call me? And she's like, oh, Sufal. And then the second time is when they're talking to the one dude, right? And she's like, hey, you know, just completely ignore the fact that my friend over here is looking very suspicious and everything. You know, it's all good. It's all good. We're good people, even though my friend is suspicious. And then steps on her foot and she's like, why are you using the term suspicious? And she's like, well, dude, I was absolutely crying of laughter when I heard that shit. I'm like, this girl's crazy. This girl legitimately is crazy. She gives me all. And it's funny. I was watching a review about this, especially about the second episode, and I'm like, and he's mentioning the fact like, you know, he does give her Aqua vibes, but at least she's more useful than Aqua, which is absolutely true. Like, Dina is 100% more useful than Aqua ever could be in Konosuba, bro. Like, legitimately, way more useful. She's also the thing is too, albeit Dina's funny personality and kind of boneheaded in decisions and whatever she's thinking, I do find it absolutely hilarious that what is it that she is still good looking. She still is attractive. She's kind of thick, but then again, it's absolutely hilarious content. They do go to this city that, you know, it's split into different quadrants and everything. And it's a nice town, but, you know, we really find out, like, it's kind of like this, you know, humanity's not looking the way it should be. And it's actually, we later find out, like, humanity's basically on the road to destruction eventually, which is what Lufas finds out and is like, oh, that's not good then. We're in some trouble. So it then ends up in them having to go find Ares or whatever, because he creates an earthquake and basically, I guess his forces are coming to attack. So they're going to confront Ares in the next episode. But overall, great episode. I'm really enjoying the final last boss show. I will also say this. I don't think they showed it in the first episode, but in the second episode, they gave us the ending song. I'm addicted to it already. Now, I don't know if that's because they had Dina dancing with the way she's like, and she's moving her hips and everything. I'm just like, huh? And it's just basically ending about Dina. And I'm just like, okay, hilarious ending though. But the song is enjoyable. It is a banger of a song. But I think that opening part when she's just dancing, I think that's the part where it's just like, that's brain rot. She's clearly the brain rot character. And it's funny because even at the end of this, when they're going to fly to Ares, he's like, I don't know if I want to get on there. And she's like, and Lufas is like, bro, just hold on to me and you'll be fine. But I'm guessing she's afraid of flying or she's afraid of heights. But okay. But overall, I enjoyed this episode. Definitely can't wait to see what is gonna happen next, and things like that. But other than that, if you guys like the video, leave a like, put in the comment section your thoughts, and hit that subscribe button if you want to get more. What? Hold on. More While Last Boss Appeared content on the channel. But other than that, guys, catch you guys in the next video, and I will see you guys next week. Till then, guys, peace.